I'll put this around.
Okay, so now we're now recording. It's Thursday, May the 12th, 2009. Sorry, 9:09 a.m. in Greece. So it's Thursday, the 12th of May, 9 minutes past 6 p.m. in New Zealand. So hi, John. So
Okay, hi, Andy.
Kia ora, Andy.
We've got
Kia ora.
Reg Rangihuna here. He's my cousin here. In our family. And so we're going to be talking about if we get success in what we're doing, and we can get funding to get things how to do the tidal turbines and all of that thing, and the seaweed, especially the seaweed farming for the sushi stuff and all that. So now I got here safely from Hamilton, and I'll do my business here with him, and then go back tomorrow, so I can carry on with things when I get back, and because there's a lot to do, and get prepared for Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning with Ramola D and you. So there's a lot. There's a lot. She might be asking me a lot, so that'll be good. So I'm in Te Araroa. That's on the East Cape of the North Island in New Zealand, or Ulster from Ireland, and we are on the place where the sun comes up first, and so I'm back here. I took a video on the way down of the sea was dead flat where I dived, or having, and so tomorrow on my way back I'll just take another video on looking out into the Kermadec Trench, and ran back where I set up all the plans to do seed farming and fishery, and the Tonga it's about 2,000 miles from the East Cape to Tonga, and so you've got all that fishing area in between there with a platform and processing on the platform, and land a plane on there too. So it'll be long enough for a plane to land and pick up all the processed stuff frozen. We got all the power from the tidal energy, electricity, and from hydrogen, making hydrogen to keep our refrigeration going, and try to get the fish fresh, flown off the platform straight to Auckland from the East Cape, and get there before these fellas and the iwi trustees get there, and they're just starting to plan to get their of the area where they want to put a harbour here in Te Araroa where I am, and so they got funding for that. Something like that. An initial plan. That's how much it cost for their project for fish. They were going to have a logging. They didn't want the logging ships coming in and just make it awkward for the environment, having log trucks going up and down and annoying everybody. So they cut that out, and so they got that project going. So we have to get the shares and everything going on the Feb website. I'll get that going, revenue coming in when I get it fixed up. It's working now. That's one of two websites. That's the one, moaipowerhouse.world. So that's for the world. The other one was moaipowerhouse.com. It's not working because it's still hacked to bits. But this one, you can see all the flags all over the place and marked up, and a lot of the information that I was talking about, John Key and all the rest of them, that I was going to charge is in there. They got in Cook Street, they took it all out, all the information that was offensive to YouTube, and even got rid of some of the videos I had in there from Ireland, so people can see where I'm going to. So I'm going to try and make the website specifically for tidal energy and projects and shares for all the people who buy shares, and all the benefits of what we recover from the Crown corporations, the corporations. People have offended, like the Yellow Jacket, Yellow Vest, all those names on there. I'm just telling Alfred how we will make the hearings online on Monday. We will have the and we'll pounds each, except the Queen will be higher. All the big shots that have gone against me and never refuted it will go up in the charges. So I'll just leave that there for now. I just wanted Reg to have a word, and while we're together, I want to make sure for the record that I'm here with him. That's the reason why we're making a video here, which is not too long. So you can have a word if you want.
Well, no,
Oh.
I'll just be an observer.
Oh, okay. He doesn't want to say anything, so that's okay. But he's picking up a lot from what we're doing on the feed on the Zoom meetings, and the Zoom meetings we have are actually a native magistrate King's Bench Court hearing each video with minutes, and and so we can make it so that people will come on if they want to say something about it. So nobody's saying anything about it. What I've got on the agenda with all those enforcements. If you read, I'm adding more enforcements, and I just want to say some of them are the 500-mile Land, Foreshore, and Seabed Act 2022. So we're making our own fisheries resource consent to go out and do what we want under our own Moai government. So Alfred suggested we stay with the Moai government instead of Maui government or Maori government, because the Maori and the Maui does not have any memorials to be value to those names. Only the Moai. The Moai has all the value in the crown business of the Queen and all the kings and queens that have gone through succession on that crown corporation. So I'm making another proclamation to install me as the trustee to replace Queen Elizabeth II, because she's the head of the trust of the Queen Victoria Trust, or any other money that have gone into that and into the Treasury and into the City of London Bank of England. So we have our own bank, Moai Powerhouse Group company, limited company, registered, but we've got to take the limited out when we get money, because you've got to be a corporate business before you're allowed to go corporate. You need about $200,000 or pounds before they'll let you go into a private corporation out of a limited corporation. So we got to do the changeover once we get financial and go into that. So that's some more things I want to talk about on Monday, but I just briefly saying those. I've got a list of some of the things I'm putting in proclamations into the agenda. Each time I read the agenda out on new proclamations, I read them out for any objections to come online to what in after the Hui meeting is finished. And when I say it's finished, then it's open floor. That's when they come in, and so it won't spoil the meeting and the Hui. And then I take the minutes from that, and it's recorded on the video as proof of who is talking from Ngāpuhi, anybody that may have objections to what we're saying, and then say something, then I alter it on the next minutes, and so on. That's how you do it in any court, or on a Maori land court, or any government things. You got to have it recorded on a meeting of the minds, and they've got to have an input. So if they don't come to our hui meeting and participate, we can pass what we say if there's no one to object against it. Because if they don't come to our hui, like any on a marae hui, if they don't come to it, you miss out. They'll just make a ruling on who turns up to the marae. So we do the same thing here. Who doesn't turn up to this hui on our own little marae online, which is much cheaper to have a video meeting and call it a hui to make it legal in the system here, in the government system here, and the government system in Britain. So there, it's something like that to make us our organisation building up to get our 6 people and the 12 people. I've still got to put the Zooms for Matt Taylor because he's the manager, the general manager for the whole world, and Jackie Little for the England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales business with Westminster, but but um, but thing takes it further than that into the world of trade. And that's the difference between the two managers. I've still got to find a manager here that's can keep up and talk like Matt does. He's a politician. He's got his own party, political party, but he's put it on the side. I got him to start the my King William party, and so that's already there and ready to go to Westminster. But I won't do that now because it's in the Queen's Bench. If it's a King's Bench, then it's okay. So we got that to sort out. We got Prince Philip, Prince Charles to sort out, and because he's gone now, and Boyce is Michael Boyce is got his full suit on, so we use him dressed up as Admiral of the fleet, and hook ourselves to him, to our documents, and so there, instead of him as Baron Boyce title to the Parliament, we're taking him to the boat, to the ship, and not to the Parliament. See, so there, we can still, because they're using him as getting to the Navy, and using him in Parliament as a baron, to hook the two together. So that, and we're doing the same thing with that man as well, to use his power and the flag and so forth. So this thing here with the projects, I'll just talk a little bit about the project. So we've got Jerry Otimi and I put a 500-mile zone, and the government's only got a 200-mile zone where they can fish right out, and so this will keep all the outside trawlers right out of our territory because they're coming right in. They go right inside the 200-mile area. The fishing vessels, the foreigners, Japanese and all those people, they come all the way here to get the big kingfish and tuna, because that when they leave Japan they're skinny, and when they get here they're fat because there's plenty of food coming here to New Zealand before they go away full stomachs and built up. So that's why we've got the best place in the Ranfurly Bank off East Cape. That's only 30 miles out, not from the shore, where those fish are plentiful, and the Iwi Trust and Aotearoa Fisheries, Sea Lord and all those corporations want to get their ships in there, and then we've got these acts to pass in front of everybody on Monday, and to put ours in before they can get clear run ahead of us and get out there before they do, and put out. We're using Scotland as a model, because I put into the Scottish fund and I put my application into Scotland at the time. I was doing the tidal turbines and fisheries for the tidal turbine project, and I entered into a competition in Scotland, but I didn't win. Those other ones up in Scotland won. So now they've set the precedent. They've got turbines in the water, and I don't have to spend millions on getting the case, the real life case of that. In New Zealand, they have got no turbines in the sea that matches the one in Scotland and the experience. So I'll use our group in Scotland to get behind Jackie Littler Gordon and Andrew Littler Gordon and the crew there. We set up that project and put a turbine in where those other ones are. Up, I forget the name of where it is, but I can remember next time. Where I've got a plan. I've got a plan for there. I've got a plan for Dover, White Cliffs of Dover between there and France, of a turbine in the water there, a big where you land the plane on it. You can land the plane on it and fill up with hydrogen instead of going into Heathrow, and the passengers get on there. They have to come there to get on a plane that takes 2 hours from there to New Zealand, and that's the plan I've got with the hydrogen plane. And you can see those on my Facebook site, on one of 83 Facebook sites. I'll pull them out of those hydrogen planes. They're only on plan. They're not in the sky because they can't get hydrogen anywhere of that sort of capacity and supply because it costs too much to make hydrogen. Is out of the question. Only tidal turbines can do it, not fossil fuels, because it's a dead exercise to make hydrogen for those planes and burn it and make it from coal or any other way to do it. Solar and anything won't get an aircraft off the ground with. So that's another thing with our project where the shares go to those people when I get it fired up again for 25. Ever have to put in really, but if anybody wants to put more in, that's fine, because they'll only get more for the share. We're only going to keep simple. We're not on a share market. We're not going like they gamble to lose your money on crypto. We use tag pay because it has not been hacked since I first started on that in 2009 on tag pay. It's the safest money transfer system in the world in France, and they perfected it. So I want to get it hooked. I used to have it working, Andy. Again, with them, and no number, your phone number. The kids can put their own phone number in on their mobile, and they can get money in and out of it, and no problem. And so I have to see how many countries they got in the tag pay now. If you look at it to see how many countries have they got, it was about 25 back then. So there should be more countries in it in the tag pay, and so it gets more popular. But it wasn't down here. I went through Singapore because they use it a lot there, and then came here. So I set up a connection in Singapore. If I got money, I can do it again, and then hook it back up to the tag base. It's simple. It's very simple to draw money out than anything else. Better than the crypto, because when you work on crypto, you can lose your money to scamsters, and when you go and dial in your number and you put the wrong number in, you'll lose all of your money. If you do it wrong, if you put the wrong connection or make a mistake, you can't get it back. You don't have that problem with TagPay. I've done all the research on it. You won't get like that stuck. So I can talk about that another day. So we've got fisheries and aqua farms. We give ourselves resource consent on land and sea, and override the government's resource consents, that they can't stop us from going in the sea with that flag, Andy, and on the land, and put our buildings up on the land with the funding we have. We'll have more funding for them, all those people, to come and work for us than to go and work for the iwi Trust. And so that's the idea, was to flood the whole place out with people working, because we've got all the money now, and they can have cash with their phone, and go anywhere and tag pay. The shops have got a FPOS system of tag pay and get their cash. You can have cash to pound note in your pocket and feel the money instead of going and getting control. You get control by crypto and the system that they're going to do now, and the government and the United Nations world order. They will have control over your body and your thing. So I'm having these when I read these out. It's enforced and not going through a process where it has to get resolutions for people to decide whether they want it or not. This is the king talking. That what the king says. It's there's no parliament. We haven't got a parliament to go and bandy it around to get public support. They either have it or they don't. That's it. That's the rule. They either have what I say or they don't. If they have no objection to it, then by not coming online when they want to talk about it, then tough. It's tough luck. Yeah. So there we have to let the people know if they see the video and they don't like something we're doing, then speak up. They have to come online, and when it's open to the floor, so it won't spoil hui, and that's public. Then they can say their things. Then I can put it in a minute, straight from the video, as proof, as proof that we have public input. The public say, and even the chiefs say. The chiefs at Waitangi stop what I'm doing, Andy, because if they didn't like it, the word gets around pretty quick up there in Ngāpuhi land with me with the flag. They know I'm doing the right things with it. That's why they won't come online and make comments on my Facebook and on my messenger, especially on my Facebook. They're not writing all over it because my Facebook doesn't block anybody. It's open, it's public, and so they can put anything on my site so everybody can see. But I won't write on Kate Floss's page or her messenger because she'll go and use it against me. That's why I don't comment on it. I told Alfred, don't do that because she'll make us look bad if they're fighting each other with comments, and the public thinks they'll see your intellect when you start squabbling something and go into gods and all this sort of thing, which has nothing to do with the hui. You see, that's why I cut it out and not do it. So I'll just run through of this. We've got the fisheries and aquafarm resource consents to go and do what we want in the sea where we want, and nobody can stop us. I've got to write this up tomorrow when I get back and to put them into the. You'll see some more of these on the agenda for Monday. I've already filled Monday, and it's dated for Monday, so people can see what I'm going to talk about on Monday, and have and the more they see it online, and if we had a common place, I've got to pull one of those Facebook sites out where it specifically puts all those on the one page, but then everybody's coming in on that page and putting their things and do. And they can write all over your page, so you have to take them off your page. So I'll put them together in one of the Facebook pages. I got one for King, I got one for shares, I got one for fraud, and one for courts and all sorts of things. So I can throw them into those and can find them easy and put them on a case like the one we do on Monday. So when I pull those things out and put them on my page and put you tag to it, it means I want to talk about it. That's why I put them like that. So we got something to talk about. See, so we don't have to go scratching around, looking around for something to talk about. So we got tidal turbine platforms. I won't put that one in for Monday. That's in the Ranfurly Bank. So I got to make orders from our court that these are the things we're talking about. What are we're going to do? We say we're going to do it as if we're already doing it, and if we get these share things going, we've got funding to do it. While I'm thinking about it, that time that fellow Cicluna, that lawyer and that banker that screwed me 16 million of my brother's, what you call it, probate. That was what I was supposed to pick up. They were arranging for the treasury for that money to come to me, and so I let them. I've trusted them to get it, and we would have been financial with 16 million. I still got to go back into the court just and take those two into the court to recover that money that the trustees sent out to me. I got the letters from the trust office, like all the Maoris. They've got probate from people that died. My brother died in England. He's been there for donkey's years. But all the Maoris have got probate from people who died there, and money put aside for them, and the families back here. But her family, my brother's wife, couldn't get it. They wouldn't allow it because she's not on our whakapapa or our family tree. They only go down our family side of the male side to get it. So those are some of the things I can discuss on how Maori can get their money from probate in courts here, or probate from courts in the country that their ancestors have died in the war and buried there. There's probate for you in Westminster, in City London, in the trust office. Well, people don't know that. Only a certain few people know that to claim it. So there's 16 million there. And I'll throw that into this lot to get it going. That's what I went there for. I was set it up to get that money to make us financial. We wouldn't have been standing around. We'd have been gone long ago. We'd have had that court case in Cook Street paid for, the court hearing paid for, and the court in London to paid for to go after all these big cases with the trillions, from trillion on each head on the yellow jacket. It's a trillion on each one's head. I've warned them that I'll put a writ warrant on their head, a bounty on the fraud. They won't have £1 trillion, but the Crown will. So you go to the Crown for the balance and seize their property, like John Key, on the fraud that he defrauded all the people in New Zealand and the world. He defrauded. He's the banker with all the big bankers, and so he was instrumental in setting up the Panama Papers. So all that has not been resolved, and nobody's taken them to court because it's too big. You can't get it because the Rothschild Bank stop you. They'll stop you from going to court and trying to fight against their banker system. So John Key's got protection. He's got all these properties. He got out of it when I put those writ warrants on him, and Natalie Flower Dew Brown, the police woman. And now you see that video I've got on that website. You scroll down, you'll see Philip Taylor talking to me. And before I went back the second time where I got arrested at Heathrow Airport, he is talking to me for a long time. I wish I had the volume up so you can hear him talking, but you can hear a little bit of him talking as evidence that he was behind all the scam. When I went to try and see him, you know all about that, and he took off. He took off and didn't want me to catch him and talk to him at office Carlick House in Otahuhu. So yeah, that's another one. Kermadec Trench, fracking is another one. Chemtrails is another one. I'm enforcing things for us to act on it on King William IV's acts, where there's no statutes in the way to amend the acts that King William IV put in, and King William III. So we've got little. We only got 19 pages, A4 pages of King William IV acts. No, that's it. No statutes after that. All the way through, clean. That's where we start from with that flag, and then we put chemtrails to knock them out of the sky, and bioweapons is another one. We enforced that on Monday, and 6G ban, 6G frequency and all that sort of thing. Injections, the children, and put the force. We're putting acts together as if the act is passed already, but the king can say anything in our court. The king can say what he likes because the parliament is not there to control the king and take the sovereignty off the king. The parliamentary took the sovereignty of Queen Elizabeth II and made themselves more powerful than the queen and the court. You see, that's where it's wrong. That the Parliament is lining itself up to take everything over. That you can't answer them when they pass this act that they're doing the declaration, the word declaration. So they're going above our declaration of the flag and the Declaration of Inconsistencies and Amendments Act. So they can amend anything they made mistakes on in inconsistencies of all the acts and statutes they put through all these years, that they can just alter it and put it as if it's innocent from all the years they've used it against us to carve out all the wealth and the money and the land and everything from us and put it into the crown in New Zealand. I'm talking just about New Zealand, little crown. Then give the Queen her little bit or her big bit and keep the rest. Give the United Nations for borrowing all the money for New Zealand, and then they keep the whatever's left over for themselves. See, so we put an X through that lot, and then transgendering children. That's another one. Transgendering ban. I'm putting the word ban. Enforce the Banning Act. There's some acts like that, like the Lunacy Acts of King William IV. So you put these things in there where they bastardize human body and make another human body, our bio body, to fight up against us and take all our jobs and replace employers in a supermarket or factory or anything, all those sort of things, taking the human content out of it, and they, because they control the robots and technology in that and the skies with all the robots doing all the work and no work for you. So what they do is if you can't pay for your things, they'll destroy you. If you can't pay for your rent on your house and all that, they'll just go after whatever you're worth and your birth certificate is worth, which is not much. And so they get rid of you that way as disposable under their inconsistencies, declaration of inconsistency and amendment. They can amend any act all the way through from King George IV, where it was clean, right through all the fraud of Queen Victoria and King George V, right through King Edward and all the rest of it that make up the bloodline going down that track. And Acts of Parliament, Human Rights and Bill of Rights, Declaration of the Inconsistencies and Amendment Act. So we're forcing those. And what else is there? What else is there? But I've got a few that I want to add in just to let the people know what's coming up. I'll put them in so that they have a bit of time to read what our next agenda is, and then we haven't got any angry people about it. Only Kate is the only angry one, and no, we haven't got any Maoris arguing about me calling the Maori thing a trick or whatever. Of they're thinking about it. That's what I think, and they're thinking about what I'm saying. With what is it true? Is it true, or what's he talking about? And they're just sitting on the fence, Andy. They're sitting on the fence to see what the British people are going to say about it. There's more people in Britain talking about this than here, so they're unsure of themselves. Only the people in Britain that I spend a lot of time online understanding plain English of just what they can see now is the trickery of the government to take advantage of them, no different to taking advantage of us here. So there we have only one native court for all the countries of 250 countries. The 250 countries is all those other countries have been taken their sovereignty away or never had sovereignty, but they still live on an island with no government or no nothing. And so I put a flag or Moai flag on that country. One of this flag or a Moai flag has equal one is God and God flag with the dark red cross, and this one here You can put either one on the island, and it still has the same value. It still has the same trading value. The only thing with Maui is it separates itself from the crown and the kings and queens. So there, it's spiritual flag. It's a spiritual flag, and I have to put these X in for the. I already put X in for the pyramid to get these memorials back off the Vatican and the Queen and everybody else that's flogged them for their documents. So we already said that before. So there, that's that covers that. And what else I was going to talk about? I didn't have anything other than this written down to put onto the agenda. So there, that's about all I wanted to say. Other than I'll pick my stuff up tomorrow, my computers. I just remembered that some of my stuff was locked up in the building. My brother's locked the place up and gone to Auckland because his truck got a broken back window, so he went all the way there to fix it up and locked the whole place out. But I can jump the fence. He said I can jump the fence and go and get what I want because he didn't want anything of mine taken out. So all my clothes and stuff are locked up inside, but all my other computers and everything are in the bus, the caravan, the big caravan bus where I was staying on the farm. So there I can go in there in the bus and get them and bring them back up to Auckland. I'll be happy when I get my computer and my seals and my documents. So I've got them and get a bag. I'll get a new bag as a magistrate and put them and set myself back up again and ready to go back to Westminster. So we're looking at a time frame of about July or August before we get all our organisation formed. The organisation in New Zealand and the organisation in Britain for those four countries, and both of them together as one organisation with the two corporate companies to go into Westminster as one. So we have to do that. Yeah, we've got a lot to do, and I have to try and contact that admiral of the fleet, Michael Boyce. I have to try and find a way of communicating with him, and try after we got something going, and try and hook somebody from England or in the Westminster area living that is more Navy, and try and find somebody in the ex-Navy to come in the 12 group in the group there and build it back up to 12. And so that's more important. That's another important one. We try and look for that person and try and get him to get us together with this admiral so that he can come online with me and you and him to after we get everything done where we've got something at least to give to him. We got at least something. It's no use giving him something that's not complete. But we've got my documents, but to condense it down into a fresh new document with a date on it and a video meeting so that we have them face to face instead of somebody going to visit him in person if they're not up to speed with what's happening. If it's someone from the Navy like John Patterson, it would be good. What else did I want? So yeah, other than that's all for now. And I was talking to Daryl Payne in California because he's the agent. He's not the agent. He's representative for the flag there, and he just told me that I would need to go to East Island to see the chiefs there to get behind the flag as well. The Moai, pardon, not the flag, the Moai, and connect that moa up to my hapu, like me and Reg here, where there should have been one at the East Cape on Te Pito Point on the Ha block there, where my land block is next to it. But I'm not a shareholder on that land block next to it, on the one I am, and try and get a memorial of on down on paper from East Ireland, connecting to me and my history online. I've got the guy I want to talk to, but I haven't been able to find them on Messenger or Facebook because I think they've been banned from Chile from talking online, because I don't see anybody from Rapa Nui or Easter Island on Messenger or Facebook or Skype or anywhere. So I think they've got strict rules about internet over there. Otherwise, I'll be talking to the chiefs face to face, like we are here. So there, that was one that Daryl had some other things for me. He's making a list of things that he wants me to have a look at what I should do, as the king. And so I can talk about that on Monday. But he's not saying things are confidential, because people should know where he's coming from, and trying to get to Ireland. So he's got something to do there. But I'm sticking to the native people on the documents and only commerce and nothing else, that are planned to bring in something else to try and take the throne. And I'm warning anybody that interferes with what we're doing with the crown and the throne, without memorials, without information to put on these video meetings of anybody that wants to claim, like Doug Howlett or anybody that wants to claim the throne, they'll have to challenge me in what we had, and so Daryl wants to go right back to other kings and queens and his history to King Arthur, but King Arthur had no commerce and admirals to make money. So all that money and wealth that got everybody on the piece of land they're on, it came this way, not any other way. So I had to make that information of enforcing anything that interferes or tampers with our what I call bloodline to King Ernest Augustus V, because I've done my research to put him there as his rightful position. Then I'm yet to see someone bring something online here in front of us to say otherwise. Otherwise, it's the truth, and so that's how we put him in there and tell the Navy we have no objections on our meetings, for the government to see in what we're saying and claiming that there's nobody else to take the place of the throne against me, a surrogate, talking for a king who's not there or a queen who's not there, talk to this flag as authority to carry on going, and put something in somebody in that sees the beneficiaries of the trust and not outside of third parties. So anybody else coming in with other ideas of third party contract with you and me only. See, just to make things quite clear that you, Matt Taylor, Frank McElleron, he has to decide if he wants to be English or as far as I've been talking to him in that hotel, he's an Irish, so he has to pick which one he's going to stand on the land and claim, so that we can have somebody else to take his place while he's in England. See, you have to get what we call the mana whenua, or the man with the mana, the power, to talk to the land that you're standing on in this court. You see, so there. Even this here is a native magistrate court. Wherever I go with my documents and my magistrate talk on those 83 Facebook sites is a magistrate. All that information and all those flag and memorials, documents, sealed documents, all those things as a magistrate on Facebook in front of the world witnessing. We don't care how many people watch our things or not. It's just the people who watch it that come on our page. So you have to invite people. I've got somebody coming from Africa. He wanted to come on and have a say. So I'll let him in either at the beginning before the hui or later. If it's a young person, he can come on later and not fall asleep like Ferrier. The guy, the business guy, fell asleep. That's what happened. He fell asleep. He didn't say he went because he got bored. He fell asleep, and so he missed the whole bloody lot. And so he wanted to back on and talk because he wants to have a say and tell Maori people what they should be doing with the flag. So I encourage people to come online if they know what to do with the flag. And there he is with a pound note and coming on to talk about a pound note and cryptocurrencies and a full business plan of an economy within a half an hour. So I've given him only a half an hour to put his presentation across so that where he's been open, he's got plenty of money, he's got plenty of land, but he doesn't have to work. He's got all the time in the world, but he's helping people. He does food banks in the Waikato region. All the poor people, that's what he's doing freely because he's using his time to help people, which is the good thing. I won't hesitate to put him, even though he's backing the Maori Party, Maori government. You see? So I want to see whether he wants to come with us because he's got a position. I already said he's got a position on this panel of six as a business man articulate in and what to do with the land because they have certainly been successful with corporations on the land. See, so we got somebody experienced there, but they haven't got the chiefs. You see, Andy, that's the they haven't got the chiefs. And all that time I've been in the Maori government with Sue Nakora, and nobody else has been with Sue Nakora. And when Georgie Job took over the Maori government, and so, but she hasn't got the consent and the signatures from the chiefs like I have. They haven't they haven't got a background of talking to them, the chiefs, and getting the confidence of those what we call taumata or the main elders on a marae that sit on the pai or welcome the people in and talk business on the marae, and they're the ones sit up at the front in the left hand side as you come in the door. They sit over there, and the chiefs on the other side sit on the opposite side. But in that marae, all over the place, and they've mixed themselves up, except the ones sitting on the left-hand side coming in the door. Always the main chief sits there, and Kingi Tauroa always sits by the door on the seat there, and there's never been a chief to replace Kingi Tauroa who signed my documents, all of it, because he didn't give signatures to anybody else because they couldn't get close enough to him. You see, even though he was a King Edward on the Queen Victoria side, and not he didn't support the flag so much. He only supported King Edward the Fourth, and so. But he listened to me on the King William side because I told him I'm going to use this flag to get your land back. So he signed it. You see, and so that's the end of that. What else? What else? I can talk of a lot of things, but that's just enough for now. You can fill out the rest of this little clip with something you want to talk about or ask me about Romola D. and what she's likely to ask me, or I know what she does already, but it'd be good to talk to her. Yeah, who's that?
Could be my
Well,
daughter, I think.
Oh, you might be your daughter. Hang on, Andy.
Okay.
How can you tell? Hang on, Andy.
No worries, John.
Just hold the fort. You know how to.
Can't see.
No, it's the phone. You, it's your phone. Here.
God, it's my niece.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it. No, I'll just leave it. Oh,
Decline.
she's
Yeah.
if you want to drink a break,
Well, I'm not long now.
We're good. We're good to go anyway. We can talk. We can talk about Remolas rather than on here. We can talk about Remolas. What we're going to talk about. What Remola will ask.
Oh, with her, eh? With her.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll leave that for her. We'll leave that for her on Monday. But now I just wondered what you want to talk about, and
No, Remola's on
for this
Saturday.
little trip. Oh,
Remola's
Saturday.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
so
Saturday, my Friday night. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll give me time to recuperate from driving because I scooted. I had to scoot flat out to get here before dark, so otherwise I get lost in the dark trying to find a Regis place. And I just got on here just getting dark and made it. I made it down here. Got lost finding his place. Went to the wrong place. And yeah. So I'm going to call in to see the tidal energy guy, Kevin Rias in Karikari Tauranga, on my way back to see how he's getting on with his because he's the manager of the tidal turbine project. He'll take over the whole project in the country and keep up the engineering and everything like that for me. So
Yeah.
he's already on my website as the manager with because I've spent a lot of time with him, and he will help me with my project as well on the tidal turbines to keep an eye on that. On the I'm going to get the Chinese contracted them to do the whole thing, so that so I'll just give the Chinese. I've already been in touch with them to do the plans for me. Instead of it'll cost more going to Dutch land where they were going to do it would cost a lot of money, or Hyundai. I was going to get them to build it, but that would cost too much to build the turbine bridge and the platform bridge for the planes to land on. That's a commercial plane to land on. Yeah, so that's all. That's why I get excited when I come back here because it's that point in time that I had all the interest going then, except getting the finance across the line, and now it looks like we're getting closer all the time.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it
Yeah.
there then, John. We'll leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll end this song because I've got my breakfast here as well, like going cold. So I'll
Yeah.
finish my breakfast off, like, and we'll sort that. We'll sort out. Romola will just ask her questions anyway. I mean, what you've got to speak,
Yeah.
what you want to be putting across, because it's going to be, from what I can see, it's going to be pretty much the same as what we did on Sean Maguire's show. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
To let people know over there exactly what's happening. You know, what's actually
Yeah.
been going on.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Good one.
Okay. Take
I'll
care.
see you.
Andy.
Kia
I'll
ora.
see you tomorrow.
Kia ora,
When I
everyone.
get
Take care now.
back.
Bye bye now, John.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.